Yeah. Peace, son.
Peace,
boy. Boy, unique radiant son of Allah.
Peace,
Hey, Junior. Booms. Hey, I'll be right back, y'all. Peace. M.Shadus. Yo. Oh, man. What up, world? M.Shadus. I go by M.Shadus. My name is Lyndon, aka Bali, aka Muhammad. Peace, world. I'm on a mission today. Getting ready to do a remake of a video I did earlier. I got up early this morning on a mission. You know, I feel like it's time to you know, I decided to speak to the world. Let everybody know, you know, everybody's wondering who M. Dot is. Who is M.Shadus? I woke up this morning with a kind of heavy heart, you know, and it inspired me to make this move, which I made earlier today, and now I'm going to make this move again because the video actually got deleted, and so I'm going back to redo this video again to one of my favorite places. You know, but I felt like I owe the world, you know, everybody's wondering who M. Dot is, so I feel like I owe the world a little description of myself. Just want to say peace to everybody. Shout out my mother, Ada Carter. I love you, Mom. My father, Leonard Whitehead. Rest in peace. All my family, my spiritual family, my friends, my partners, my A-likes. Peace. But I woke up this morning. You know, anybody that knows me knows that every time I sleep, I dream. You know, every time I sleep, every night, I always dream. You know, this is where I rest. This is my neighborhood right here. Just letting y'all know. You know what I'm saying? It's my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Village, Southside VA. You know what I mean? 276. But yeah, I'm getting back on this mission that I was on this morning. I had a dream. Not gonna mention his name, but I was approached in a dream by young brother I went to school with, you know, pretty much grew up with, and he was very upset. He was highly upset with me, and you know, and upon approaching me, he started talking to me, and you know, I was trying to make out. Of course, I was shocked, you know, by him approaching me, you know, because we always been cool. Never had no problem, no beef or anything. And, you know, he's very upset with me. It's pretty much like he was making his final statements to me before, pretty much before he tears me to shreds, you know. And so by the time I made out what he was saying to me, it was like he was telling me, you know, there was a funeral. I don't know if it was his father or, you know, grandparents or somebody close to him. You know, I was at the funeral and he wasn't, and his mother was there. And by the time I made out what he was saying that I had his phone, which someone else gave me his phone, And he was like, you told my mother, she came to you and asked you to use the phone, you told my mother that the phone was off. And as soon as I realized what he was saying, I was like, man, hell no. I was like, no, man. I was like, whoever gave me the phone, they told me that the phone was off. You know, and that's the understanding that I had, was that the phone was already off. So that's why I told your mother the phone was off. You know, because I was told that the phone was off. So eventually, when I was explaining that, he was already emotional. And so I pretty much I'm furious, you know. I'm in tears now. Telling like, hell no, man, you know, we always been cool, never had no problem. Why would I do something like this, you know? And so eventually, the impact, the emotional impact was so strong, it woke me up. And so I woke up, and the real tears started coming, you know. And so eventually I immediately cut those tears off, shut them tears down quick. And I said, man, we'll fight to the death. We'll fight to the death, because when you're in the right, then God is with you, you know. You know, even if you die, you know, you're standing for truth. You're fighting for truth. And I knew I was innocent. So therefore, you know, I shut it down. So, man, we'll fight to the death. You know what I mean? M. Sankofa. Shout out my man M. Sankofa, you know what I mean? And the actual Sankofa, you know, because that man fought to his death, you know, because he knew he was innocent. He knew he was right. That man fought to his death. You know, and so that just kind of inspired me to think of other things, you know. A while back, a few years back actually, I did a song titled Black Superhero. All right. Anybody that's familiar with that track, you know, it's very animated, you know, and the name itself kind of tells the story, Black Superhero. And you know, with the Black Superhero, it's one of my best performances musically. Very nice track. Shout out to Mike Mitty, you know what I'm saying, on the production. Shout out to Jason at JM Studio down in Eden, North Carolina. For the engineering, he actually recorded me. I mean, oh yeah, and shout out to Big Rook, my big brother, you know what I mean, he for sponsoring a lot of that studio time that I had. And y'all be sure to check out that Black Superhero. But I visualized that this morning, and I thought about, not gonna do no preaching, but I thought about the biblical story of Jesus, you know, the historical story, you know, the crucifixion. You know, they crucified him, you know, they stuck on his head a crown of thorns, and, you know, smashed it on his head, and he's bleeding, you know, he's been, they stabbed him, you know, in his side, got him nailed to the cross, crucified, you know. And so I don't remember exactly where, but they made the statement there, Jesus, you know, king of the Jews, you know. And so I thought about that, and I thought about M.Shadus, the Black Superhero. You know, I mean, like, who's really worthy of that name, right? The Black Superhero, I mean, for real. Not saying that I carry that title or claim that title, but, you know, locally, you know, on the musical level, you know, nobody else has really came out with that idea, just straight up Black Superhero like that. you know, on that level. So